is stranger than fiction. When it gets too hot in your kitchen. Truth is stranger than fiction. When it gets too hot in your kitchen.
The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind.
That was Morpheus.
You in, turn you on like a radio show. You can feel that your life is back in the flow. All your people starting to wait.
This is Herschel 36 on the beat.
Truth is stranger than fiction. When it gets too hot in your kitchen. Dance the beat again.
Wednesday night on the beat. Truth is stranger than fiction. And have I got a guest for you this evening?
I wanna kiss you, but I just can't reach. You keep on dancing through the bodies in the street. All the people starting to sway. Truth is stranger than fiction. When it gets too hot in your kitchen. That's the beat again.
It's going to be a cracking show tonight, people.
Truth is stranger than fiction. When it gets too hot in your kitchen. Truth is stranger than fiction. When it gets too hot in your kitchen.
So tonight I've got a really good friend of mine. He's come all the way from Iran. Well, kind of. That's a bit of a lie, actually. We're going to be speaking to Mats. He's originally from Iran. He lived in Sweden, of all places, and now he lives here in Bengarola. Now, Mats is my born-again terrorist. And it's going to be really interesting to hear what he's got to say, because truth is stranger than fiction, people.
That's the beat again.
So here we go. Last week we had Ole Damagard on the show. Now, Ole is on the terrorist watch list from the US, and he is a yoga teacher. He's he's 6'4", one of the nicest gentlemen I've ever met in my life, and there he is. He's on the terrorist watch list. Why? Because he speaks the truth. Now, Mats, how you going, brother?
How you doing, man? Very good.
Listen, just tell the people how you and I know each other.
Well, just to get the things a little bit cleared out, yeah, my name is Meran, as they say in Spanish, and I come from Tehran and Iran. So Meran from Tehran and Iran. And people call me Matt because it's easier to pronounce it. We know each other from a mastermind course, yeah.
Mastermind course, what's that?
Mastermind is basically a course over a duration of a year that helps you evolve your dreams and your business and fulfill yourself.
So you're a businessman, are you?
I'm a businessman. I like, yeah.
What kind of business are you in?
Well, I've got my education in cinema and directing and producing and
That's
writing.
right. You're a filmmaker, aren't you?
Exactly, I'm a filmmaker initially, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but filmmaking doesn't really make you money unless you made it.
Unless you're Roman Polanski.
Exactly.
What was that film we were talking
The
about?
Ninth Gate,
The
man.
Ninth Gate.
The
What's,
Ninth
what,
Gate.
what, what's the Ninth Gate
The
about?
Ninth Gate is about a book detective that sets out to find a book about a book that supposedly is partly written by the devil.
There you go.
Yeah.
This is the thing, man. Right, check this out, right? There's this girl on the coast, right? Nice girl, okay? And I was talking to her, and she has a picture of the moon. And I said to her, "Are you aware of what the moon is?" Right? And she thinks I'm a nutter. She thinks I'm a complete nutter.
Yeah.
But there's loads of stuff out there that people think is reality, and it's not reality. But just bringing it back to the topic of tonight's tonight's show, really, it's about you, about where you come from, what you stand for. And I'll tell you why. Because I'm British,
Okay.
and we are dominated. The British are dominated by two things: drinking and
BBC.
the drinking and the TV. That's correct, right? And so we listen to what the newspapers and the news is telling us, and they tell us that there's a threat out there called a terrorist.
Yeah.
And you, my friend, you fit.
I'm a part of that profile, you know.
You are the born again terrorist.
You
That's
know,
right.
it's actually kind of funny. I had a job in Marbella in a telemarketing company a few years back with some English people, and at the Christmas gift they gave me this book, like instead of Find Waldo. You know Find Waldo?
Yeah.
It was Find Bin Laden. You
No.
know? Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's
So you
brilliant.
had a book where you had to find Bin Laden in between all of the things, and I've got all the clients from South America, all of the clients from Saudi Arabia, from all the Arabic countries, the Persian countries. They gave to me. So I mean, it's a normal thing to think that we're different and you're different, and
I know.
we're terrorists, and we understand each other better. When in reality, I mean, we're more or less the same.
We're the same, man.
Yeah.
We're the same. I really believe that we're basically frequency, okay? And we talked about this. So the guy who runs Malaga Business Minds is a guy called Nami. Really nice fella for me. Really like him. And I'm really glad I'm on that year course, basically. It's really worth the money for just from what I'm trying to do. Anyway, I think you agree. Nami talked about frequency levels. So joy and peace and love are really good high frequencies.
Exactly.
And fear and anger, hatred and jealousy, they're low frequencies.
Exactly.
And for some reason, the powers that be want us to be resonating at a low frequency.
Yeah, of course,
And-
because if you do something and you're afraid of time limit or you're afraid of not doing it good enough, it's not nearly as good as when you do something out of love or the joy of it or just wanting to do a nice thing, you know, and without having any kind of hesitation or fear.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And without expectation.
exactly.
So you and I, we're going to be buddies for the next month.
We're
aren't
going to
we?
be buddies, yeah.
That's right. And we had lunch yesterday. It was a really good lunch. I came to see your apartment block, and which is pretty impressive, I must say. Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll be back with you with more in a very short while. This is it. We're back in Herschel 36 on the beat with my new mate Matt. Now, Matt and I, we've known each other for, let's say, about 5 or 6 weeks. We met on the Malaga Business Minds, which is a closed group of individuals who are looking to get their ting into the market of some form, right? And Matt's and I are very creative, right? Well, Matt's is, I'm trying to be.
No, other way around. Other way around.
And so and we're both business minded, but I need to be more business minded. And I think what Nami brings to the table for me is structure, right? But anyway, that's not what we're going to talk about. What I really want to talk about is slightly controversial. Surprisingly enough, I want to talk about the born-again terrorists. And let me tell you something, Matt. I was talking to a friend of mine, Mary, Irish girl, and she was talking about the bad people out there, the terrorists. And I said, Mary, have you ever seen the terrorists? And she said, oh, but Jesus, no, David. And I said, well, what is a terrorist? And she said, oh, David, they tell us on the radio and so on and so forth. I mean, what's your opinion about this terrorist threat? What do you think?
I mean, what do I think about terrorists? No.
Yeah, what do you think about terrorism?
Honestly, I mean, I come from Sweden. I lived in Sweden ever since I was 8 until I was 22, and then I moved to Spain.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, so I lived 15 years in Sweden, so I know a little bit about, I don't know, about Iranians and Iranian scene from outside. You know,
okay.
Because in the end of the day, the media is made on Swedish television. And it doesn't add up. I mean, just look at the guy in Norway. I mean, he went in and he massacred a huge amount of people, and he wasn't Iranian or Arab or, you know, anything like that. So I mean, the terrorism that's going on today, it's all about extremism. Yeah, and there's a lot of extreme people, whether you want to look at it in politics or you want to look at it in war. But you got societies becoming more and more extreme, and I'm not really sure who's beneficial.
Well, that's right.
Because I mean,
who benefits at the end of the day? Because after 9/11, right, and 9/11 clearly wasn't run by Bin Laden in caves, because Bin Laden died in 2001 anyway. So that's just one big scam from start to finish, right? Yeah. So 9/11 was done. It was for me an inside job, and since then we have this police state that is taken over. So when was the last time you were in London?
I've never been to London.
Oh wow, man, you got to go to London.
Yeah.
There, I mean, I've got a place there. I bounce in between the two, and there are cameras on every single.
This is horrible, yeah, because I saw this thing where basically they've got full surveillance on you.
Yeah, of course.
Going in onto the shops, out of the shops, into the subway, into buses. It's incredible, you know, and now with the whole thing with NSA in the States, we know that they're tracking our mobiles, so basically they can follow us and see where we've gone, where we were, what we did, who was close to us on our Facebook list.
Yeah,
and they've got basically 100% overview as long as we got the mobile at hand, you know,
that's right.
And this police state that's here surveilling us is basically massacring people. On the other ends of the world.
What are you talking about? You mean the Americans and the British are handing out a can full of democracy, and you're saying they're massacring? Listen, it's the Iranians who have caused all the problems. Yeah. They're the threats. How many wars have the Iranians been in since?
None. 200 years.
Yeah,
you know, you supplied Saddam with so many weapons and so many random stuff. Honestly, when it came to war. And a lot of people don't know this, but Iran never attacked back on Iraqi soil.
That's right.
All we did was basically defending ourselves. You know.
That's right. People.
And that's 8 years of war, taking a toll of 1 million Iraqis and Iranians. And you know how much money you made, England?
I know.
You know how much money the US made? You know?
It's incredible. They go in, they destroy, and then they rebuild, and all the contracts go to their mates.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's amazing. This is the way that the banks work.
There's this girl, Naomi Klein, I think her name is. She wrote this book about shock therapy nation or something.
We need to come back to that because we're heading on into another song, but we won't be long. This is Who Got All the Money by Herschel 36.
We also know there are known unknowns. That is to say, we know there's some things we do not know.
You don't know, they don't care. Not paid enough to spend your time out there. Go outside, have a party, get high. The world will end when the sun don't rise. You got, I got, we got nothing. Who got all the money? You got me, my love for you is free, but who got all
There are also unknowns, the ones we don't know.
Unknown to you, they stole your view. Don't don't show the dark side of the moon. Place an RFID chip in your forehead and your wrist. Gonna make you so sure. You got, I got, we got nothing. You got all the money.
There's no evidence of a direct link.
You got me, my love for you is free, but who got all the money?
Terrorist organization.
You got, I got, we got nothing. Who got all the money? I got you, yeah, this is true, but who got all the money?
Is this an unknown unknown?
Fiscal year 1999, 2.3 trillion missing. Fiscal year 2000, 1.1 trillion missing.
$1 trillion.
Mr. Secretary, is it policy of the U.S. government to reward companies that traffic in women and little girls? Women and little girls.
You don't care that they all know nothing outside but a TV show. RFID chip in your forehead and your wrist.
Evidence of a direct between Baghdad and some of these terrorist organizations. Is this an unknown unknown?
Fiscal year 2000, 1.1 trillion missing.
I'm a trader. $1 trillion. I go to bed every night. I dream of another recession. It's an opportunity. $1 trillion. This economic crisis looks like a cancer. The governments don't rule the world. Goldman Sachs rules the world. There are also unknown unknowns. The ones we don't know, we don't know.
Excuse me, but is this an unknown unknown?
Because the United States has never been interested in anything. Has never been interested in anything other than war. The United States is in a perpetual state of war because the bankers control the politicians and they read the script as given to them by the banksters and they make huge amounts of money off of this. What this gentleman is saying about the United States not wanting war, not wanting to get involved is like Iraq 2.0. It's a repeat of the same rubbish that was said, oh, we don't want war, war is a last resort. That's absolutely untrue. It's a lie. Those that are in government are nothing more than prostitutes who are carrying out the orders of those who are in charge of them, and those that are in charge want another war. And part of that is what we discussed earlier, the Greater Israel Project, to destabilize any Arab regime which might have any kind of autonomy and self-determination. Any regime in the Arab world that is not an absolute puppet cannot be tolerated. And who are the nations that we target? Those that are not puppets. We don't target those like the Saudi regime, which is the biggest human rights violator in that region. It's cutting off people's heads in public, cutting off hands. It is the most grotesque regime on the planet, and yet we give that regime weapons and it's no problem whatsoever. The duplicity and hypocrisy of the United States and the West can't even be measured. It is so enormous. And these mouthpieces, such as this gentleman in Washington, is only doing a disservice to himself and his country. And the fact is that American sons and daughters will get involved in this yet again, and these chicken hawks who are pretending to care about the Syrian people are going to be sacrificing not their own sons and daughters. I would like this man to send his sons and daughters and his grandchildren off to Syria when this turns into a greater conflict, because this is what we're flirting with, is a world war, a third world war. This is not a joke. We are flirting with a third world war on the basis that apparently we care so much about the Syrian people, just like we care so much about the Iraqi people and the Afghani people. The only people that buy this sort of stuff are either bought off prostitutes or the dumbest of the dumb. And we're also led to believe that Assad is the dumbest idiot dictator on the planet now, isn't he? Because he invited UN inspectors to come in, and he brought them in. On the very day that they come in, he decides to attack his own people 10 miles away from where the inspectors arrive. This is beyond ridiculous, and the only people that buy this, again, are bought-off prostitutes or the dumbest of the dumb.
Truth is stranger than fiction, and that was Ken O'Keefe. Absolutely startling stuff, because the truth, you have no idea how strange it is, guys. You have no idea. So I'm very happy to tell you that Mats is here. He's my buddy for the Malaga Business Minds group that I'm in for the next year. And we are hanging out, we're talking art, we're talking music, we're talking politics, and more than anything else, we're talking spirituality and life and what really means, what life really means.
What is it all about?
What's it all about, Alfie? So if you want to check into the beat, if you want to get in contact with us, you can on WhatsApp, 640-678-011, if you've got something to say or you just want to ask Mats a question. So Mats, where were we? Let's talk about you, Iran and Sweden. You know, Sweden is the first country moving to a cashless society. Were you aware of that?
Yeah, I know. You can barely pay with cash nowadays. You can't pay with cash on the bus. You can't pay with cash on the train sometimes. You can't even withdraw money from the banks nowadays.
Well, there's one bank that still deals in cash.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of banks, but I think generally they're removing it slowly but surely.
That's right. But isn't that a good thing? It'd be, all I've got to do is take my card. I don't need cash. I lose cash.
Honestly, I've got a theory. Like, I think Sweden is like a small experimental society where in the big states like the US or I don't know, Britain has an idea. They would love to test it out on Sweden first.
Well, that's really interesting because last week we had Ole Damegard. He talked about the Swedish Prime Minister Olof Palme being assassinated.
Yeah.
He believes. Go on.
And he was supposedly assassinated by a guy who's an alcoholic. This guy, because we saw him, because we lived in the same suburbs as this supposed murderer.
All right.
And they couldn't find any kind of evidence or stick him to it. And he's an alcoholic guy who murdered the prime minister.
Yeah.
And they're still on today. They don't have the
There's no proof. I've got one word for that, and I picked it up from my Scottish father. It is shenanigans.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely, because Ole says that the guy that someone did die, but it wasn't Olof Palme, it was his double, and Olof Palme's living in the Bahamas somewhere. But with Sweden, ultimately Sweden is owned by the Rothschilds.
Yeah.
Were you aware of that?
The biggest media companies in Sweden, they're owned by the same family.
Yep.
So, I mean, in the end of the day, they're connected to the same people.
It's the same people,
and
man.
If you go even deeper into it, the majority of these people are blood related, so they actually share the same DNA, going back. And
that's right. So let's talk about you. How long have you been in Spain, in Figueroa?
Oh, I've been in Spain 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I came here exactly 10 years ago, and I just came here to stay for a year, but we got wonderful weather, and you got all these kind of different nationalities coming down to enjoy Spain. So I can't really imagine myself going back to Sweden, getting some work and saving my money and getting a career to buy a house in Spain in 40 years. So I just stick here.
So Spain is now your home. And what are your values as an Iranian man? What are your values?
My values?
Yeah.
Oh, it's very deep stuff, David.
You can call me Herschel.
Herschel, yeah? Herschel, yeah. Well, I don't know. What are my values? I don't know.
But look, I was at your penthouse yesterday, and you've got this guy living in a room rent free. So what are your values, man?
Well, I believe that there's a lot of talent being wasted around the world. I mean, there's a real easy misconception about life and that we have, and it's that only the strongest will survive. Yeah, and it's not like that. Not only the strongest will survive. We can actually help the others that are not that strong. And we could all live with the same kind of quality and...
See, you're incredibly laid back, okay? So, you're very easy to get on with. You certainly don't come across to me as a terrorist.
Until they activate me. You know?
Yeah. Oh, you're a sleeping terrorist.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Something like that.
I do believe in I don't know, some of the things that's going on today that may not
Well, but
everybody may not agree on.
but do you believe in?
Civilian disobedience, let's call it that. Civilian disobedience.
Do you believe in the beat? That's what I want to know.
Getting out of bed, rubbing your eyes in the morning, going downstairs and having a cup of coffee. Is that how you start your day? No. What you need to do is open your eyes, lean over, switch your radio onto 106 FM and listen to the beat.
Beat Boy at breakfast.
Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. Getting you out of bed in a different way. This is the beat.
That's right, I got up first thing this morning and I took a walk down to the beach. The sun was rising and the moon was setting, and all I could think about was, oh, I've got half an hour until Beat Boy starts at 8. And what a show it was, Beat Boy, what a show. You are a living legend. But here we are on a Wednesday evening in Fengarola, on The Beat, which is facebook.com, The Beat Spain. You can leave your comments on that Facebook page, and you can tell us what you think. You can tell us what you don't think. You don't have to tell us anything you like. Whatever you want to do, it's all right with us at The Beat. Now listen, I have got my buddy Matt here. Matt and I are hanging out for Malaga Business Minds with some other friends of ours, including Nami, who's running the show.
Yeah.
And that's how I know Matt. And when I saw Matt for the first time, my subconscious programming kicked in, and I thought, that man is a terrorist. But clearly you're not, Matt.
No, and on top of it, I shaved that day, man. Yeah.
did?
What if I wouldn't have shaved? You know, that
I
would be
know.
horrible. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have a beard.
Yeah.
You really need a beard.
Yeah.
But this is the funny thing about life. It's quite strange. And oh, don't do that. don't do that. And we were talking about, in the break, we were talking about Ken O'Keefe, right? We're talking about the people who are standing up and telling the truth. Because I think this conspiracy, I really do believe that there is a global conspiracy. I'm convinced.
Okay.
People think I'm bonkers, but I'm convinced. I think that Donald Duck was a cartoon character and isn't real. What do you think?
I think you're on the ball on that one. Yeah.
But okay, so just talk to me about
Honestly,
Iran.
there's a lot of things that's going on that people don't acknowledge, you know. And I mean, they've been feeding the media with all these random stuff about God knows what, that doesn't have value, mainly because they don't want us to think about what's real. So, and you had a few examples of the. What was it? You said that all of the information that they were passing on went on a certain frequency.
Well, that's right. We basically work on a frequency of 44.1 kilohertz, okay, in modern day technology and society, yet the Earth resonates at 43.2, and that's our natural resonance as a human being, as an entity in this thing we call the universe. And the people, the powers that be, have changed the frequency, and the chemtrails and all the radiation that's going around this planet, it's all to change the frequency. Have you seen any difference to the sky in recent weeks?
Of course, more and more of these airplanes going up and then going down, and all of a sudden you got rain and you got clouds.
Incredible. This morning it was blue. The whole thing was blue, and then this plane went across, right? And the normal residue from a plane would dissipate within a moment or two, but this went on for at least a mile across the sky,
Yeah.
and then it dissipates even further.
And the funny thing is, it just went up and down. I don't really understand what it did. It just went up and it left the trail, and then it went down and left the trail. And
That's right. You know, where's it going?
Yeah.
You know, it's a really old funny thing. But you brought some music in with you, haven't you? you?
I did. I mean, you were talking about all these Iranian terrorist associations, so I thought I'll bring something Iranian that's not that terroristically.
My name's Herschel36, so I've got that Jewish element. There's some amazing music coming out of Tel Aviv, right?
Yeah, the Jewish talent, I mean, is awesome. All of us know it, yeah.
And clearly I'm going to get into a low-cut budget film, not pitching, but possibly I'm going to get it apart in that budget film that's on the way. But just talk to me about Iranian culture, Iranian music. We've got like 45 seconds to roll.
I think everybody who knows Iranians, they know that we're basically very open and very flexible. We adapt very good to societies and to environments and to people. Although you can always hear the accent of an Iranian, you always have an Iranian co-worker or friend or your neighbor, probably, if you're open enough.
Well, that's right. I've got Iranian neighbours and they're really, really nice. And the food is tremendous.
Food is great, yeah.
So we've got a track coming up that you've
got an Iranian girl in Sweden with this track. She did everything on the track, yeah?
Okay, what's her name?
I have no idea. Just listen
great.
to it.
Okay.
Her name is Lale.
Okay.
LA.
All right. So you're dropping a track and you don't even know the name. That is awesome. Awesome. Let's have it. Don't leave us. Don't leave us. We're coming to the top of the hour.
Cold around me. The night is young.
I'm loving this.
The sun has fallen, and I've become the lonely one. The moon is dancing among the clouds, and my knees are shaking, and my dreams are breaking, but I know
Export the revolution of Peru.
Well, I tell you, I wasn't expecting that. Herschel 36 on the beat Wednesday night, and it's been a great day. I've got to say, I've had a wonderful day today. I've really enjoyed myself, and here I am sitting in the studio with my new mate Mats.
Tunes, eh?
Hey, what was that?
I like the tunes. I really, really like the tunes you got playing there.
They're interesting, man.
Yeah.
It's still work in progress, you know. My gig on the Malaga Business Minds is to put my live show together, you see. And Mats knows this. He's helping me. Now, what's your gig on the Malaga Business Minds?
My gig, honestly, no. Let's speak something else. Well, my gig is to get more organized and make sure to not follow 67 dreams at the same time. Just fulfill the first dream or the 3 first ones and then move on to the next 3 ones.
That's right. I tend to get sidetracked. Yeah. So I guess I'm writing a song and someone rings me up and says, Dave, do you want to do a video? I say, yeah, what do you want me to do? And they say, we want you to hold a boom mic. I say, great, what time do you need me there? And so on and so forth.
And then and then you're involved in 100 different things all of a sudden.
That's right.
You know what the funny thing is? When you're in Sweden, every second or third child, they get like... hammered with this thing called ADHD, you know?
Right.
Where you have like a syndrome that makes you uneasy and you're always...
Right.
And it's like, they're the children and we're actually a little bit older than them and we've got the same thing going on.
Well...
We're in the grown-up world, you know?
No, that's right. Talk for yourself. I'm only 18, kid. But you are also very much into film, aren't you?
I love it.
Oh my God! Beat Boys just walked in. That's the most beautiful thing I've seen all day. But you and your brother have made.
We've made a pilot for a series that we're producing together.
Right. So
based on a great book called The 48 Laws of Power.
What is that?
It's a book that goes through all of the different laws and things to think about if you want to maintain and acquire power in your relationship, at work, in society.
Because you're a pretty powerful character. I find that the most powerful characters don't have to push themselves onto other people, right?
Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, because if I'm peaceful with myself, then generally speaking, I'm peaceful with the universe. I've got to tell you, I've got to be honest with you, Matt. My 40 years on this planet have been pretty up and down.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I've had some good times, but I've had quite a few dark times. And I'm in a period of my life now which is quite vibrant. Yeah. I'm quite peaceful, quite happy.
What you're vibrating is what the universe gives you, basically.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
And we're going back to the things about energy and frequency, and now you're playing on a frequency of love and enjoying it, and things come out differently.
Can I be honest with you? When my daughter came into my life, it changed. Having her in my life changed me, because I grew up. I come from a Roman Catholic background, mother Irish, father Scottish.
Wow.
4 brothers, okay, really competitive, got beaten to, I got brought up by my brothers, and that male energy, which is I'm better than you, and whatever you do, I'm going to make sure that I'm better than you. Yeah, it dominates, and my brothers are all really successful, and but my daughter came into my life, and all of a sudden, I fell in love with the female energy, and she's so beautiful. And she's changed me. She's softened me, and I think I softened with life. Because you're 10 years younger than me.
Yeah, around.
Yeah, that's right. And you're running a business. You're setting up websites. You're really creative. You did the Fengarola brochure thing. What was that?
Discount guide. Yeah, the Citygate.
Citygate.
I've done a lot of different random stuff over the last couple of years. Yeah.
So your goal is to really focus your energy.
Honestly, I'm living here on the coast, and it seems like we have a huge expat community.
Yeah.
And the majority of them don't know where the best place is, where to go, who to speak to.
Yeah.
So what I deal with is multi-services in my job and as my interest. I like to help people, and I like to make sure that people spend less time and less money and less energy in acquiring something better. So that's why I'm at Building Malaga Business Mind, trying to do something out of that.
If I can help someone during my day, then I've had a good day, right?
Exactly, honestly.
Yeah, that's right. It's got to be that way.
Sometimes you get happier by making other people happy.
Yeah, it always works that way. So we got 20 seconds to go, but we're going to play a track by Benjamin Clementine. It's called London. What is it?
Wow, I have no idea where this guy comes from, but he's singing a incredible song. I love it.
Okay, this is
I thought you were from London, so I brought it London.
Oh man, I used to play in Piccadilly. Oh, this is going to be great. Let's hope so.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
You have to take your time, realize this whole brigade, one big charade. Run, boy, run faster. Run, girl, soon it will be over. Oh my God, I think I lost her. Oh my God, I think I lost her. Take your time. Time will take you there. Don't close your eyes. This whole charade, one big surprise. Run, boy, run faster. Run, girl, soon it will be over. Oh my God, I think I lost you. Oh my God, I think I lost you. Take your time. All you need is love and
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We should take nothing for granted. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberty or democratic process.
Run, boy, run faster. Run, go, soon it will be over. Oh my God, I think I lost ya. Oh my God, I think I lost ya. Take our time.
Councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unlimited influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex, by the military-industrial complex, by the military-industrial complex.
All you need is love and rock and roll by Herschel 36. Awesome. Awesome. So, if you are interested in hearing some more of those tracks, you can do a couple of things. You can go to Herschel 36 on YouTube, or you can stick David Patrick Carter into Google, and all sorts of bits and pieces will pop up, which is, relatively interesting. But if you like the music, then I'd love to hear from you. But anyway, enough about me and more about you, Mats. Okay, let's talk about this film that you got involved in, because there's a guy on our course called Roger, and you and Roger hooked up because you're both filmmakers.
He wants to make a movie, yeah.
Well, he's making a movie, isn't he?
He's making it. Yeah, he's actually a writer for different kind of production companies. So he writes and he does movies because he's a photographer.
And you're more of a producer, aren't you?
I'm more of a writer/producer.
Okay, because you're very much a people's person, aren't you?
I like to be. I don't know. It depends if they see me as a terrorist or not.
No,
it's all about the first,
the
first contact. Yeah.
The first 13 seconds. You are a born-again terrorist. There's lots of born-again Christians, but this is a born-again terrorist. There are also born-again Beat Boys.
Yeah.
Were you aware of that?
The born-again what?
Beat Boys.
Beat Boys.
Yeah, the head, the top honcho here is called Beat Boy, right?
Okay.
He's a pretty good DJ, I've got to say that. But there's a whole stream of people out on the Costa del Sol who are pretending to be Beat Boy.
Okay.
Right, so they're born-again Beat Boys.
There's only one.
There's only one that can.
And he's on this station.
He's
in the
on
morning.
That's right. But from 8 till 12.
Wow.
Don't miss it. Yeah, and you're a born again terrorist, but you're also a filmmaker. You're a writer and you're a businessman. But let's just talk about you making films.
Listen, I just gotta say, while I'm on the radio, there's a really, really great book called The 48 Laws of Power.
Okay.
Everybody who likes history and psychology and general really, really awesome stuff, go and read it. It gives you different tips on how to acquire power or just not be manipulated by people who want to have power over you. Yeah.
Well, that's really interesting.
We live in a society today where they are actually testing out all different kinds of stuff on us.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, you have the television and you have a lot of different kind of media suggesting how we're supposed to think and how we're supposed to act or look like, And all of these things is to acquire power. It makes you scared
Hang on.
of yourself.
Just step
makes you
back.
scared of your society, of your school, of your parents.
Are you saying that television is there to program us from a very young age all the way into
It's already done it. And things that we assumed that we wouldn't accept, we're accepting it today.
Do you know that I was in Greece in the summer with my family, and we were with some friends of ours from Australia, and my son, lovely boy he is, was with this 6-year-old kid, right? Well, I can't remember the kid's name now, but really nice kid, Australian kid. And they were watching a cartoon, and Jacob said, "Dad, come over here." And I said, "What's up?" He said, "You've got to see this." Dad, the Illuminati triangles is in the cartoon, and there it was. The all-seeing eye was in the cartoon. It's everywhere. And people are so unaware of what is going on. Now, would you put that sort of symbolism in one of your films?
if I would put it there, maybe,
Yeah.
to acknowledge the fact that they exist.
Yeah,
or
that's
the
right.
theory that they exist, but to represent it, less. Yeah. Because, I mean, there's a lot of destruction behind the forces of these people.
Yeah, it's pretty dark stuff.
Yeah.
Let's just go back to the business, Malaga Business Minds. So we have quite a few characters there. We got Audrey Sparing has been on this show,
Yeah.
right? Her energy is still in this room. You can feel it, right? Then there's you and me. There is Janice, lovely Janice.
Rogier.
Rogier.
Yeah.
Joy. Joy's a life coach.
Exactly.
Is that it? And then we lost Rebecca. I think that's it.
6 of us. Yeah.
And so when you and Roger were hanging out last month, did
We
you?
had a lot of beers and we just talked about movies and how to produce a movie.
All right, great.
I'm the kind of guy who likes to do stuff, so I'm always pushing people. Come on, how do you want it? Let's write the script. Let's get the people.
I know,
let's make
man,
it.
because we're going to do you, me, Roger, and Audrey. We're going to do a pop music video
Yeah,
for
one of your tunes. yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's right. So we need to get that rolling. So in the last 10 seconds of this little segment, I'd just like to say it's great having you in this studio.
It was great to be here.
Yeah, well, we're not over yet.
I'll be here next week unless you close the door and lock it.
That's right, so don't go away, folks. We've got more coming up. I am very happy being here right now with my mate, Mats. Now, Mats, you've got a few things you'd like to add. What is it you want to know, kid?
Well, honestly, we're sitting here and we're talking a little bit about terrorism and everything. I just wanted to ask yourself, because I mean, you're a part of the wholesome side of the society, because you're not a terrorist. You don't. You're not officially a bad guy.
No, officially I'm a good guy.
Yeah, but I mean, we do live in the same world, no? And just the fact that we live in a place where we have like a global battlefield, you got bombs in Norway as well as in Turkey. How does that make you feel?
Well, in London.
And in
But
London.
I tell you how that makes me feel, because when I go through Stansted Airport, okay, to fly to Spain. So I'm central London, so I go to Stansted, go to Liverpool Street, and then my place in Islington. And when I go out, they strip me down, and I'm thinking, why? They take my bags to pieces, and I get stripped down. And then I walk into the duty free to buy stuff. Right? It's incredible how they do it. They're so clever. And so I you're right. There is the bombs going off apparently all over the world right now, and loads of terrorism. How do I feel about it? I feel like most of it's balderdash.
Yeah, and I mean, your friend that was here last week.
Ole Damigard, yeah?
Yeah, Ole. I mean, he's a yoga teacher.
He's a yoga teacher. He's
And I mean-
such a nice guy.
And he's on the terrorist watch list.
That's right.
Which means that, I mean, today we have legalized torture. So, I mean, people can literally come in, take him out, take him to, like, I don't know, a secret court, God knows where.
Yeah.
And basically torture him to get the information from the guy who's a yoga teacher.
Yeah.
And all of this can be done without anybody ever noticing or knowing anything about it.
That is quite weird, isn't it? Because apparently we're in a democratic society, yet in Guantanamo Bay, there's guys out there who've been there held for whatever reason.
God knows how many
Yeah,
years
for
now.
15 years.
Wow.
I mean, what is going on? And you know what? In the West, we say nothing.
Yeah.
You know, no one is doing anything.
You know, because why? Because in the good old days we had like tribunals against war crimes,
Mm-hmm.
but today we have war crimes without war. So it's just war crimes. We just go into
That's
places
right.
and have war crimes.
You know-
and there's like a big hypocrisy.
Hypocrisy, yeah. Hypocrisy.
It breeds racism, man, which goes back to the terrorism.
I know, man. It's a cycle. What's that name? I'm thinking of Blair. Tony
Yeah.
Blair came out the other day and he said, "Listen, I'm awfully sorry about the Iraq War. I got the wrong information." Ah, Tony, poor you. You were given the wrong collateral, and lo and behold, you went in and you murdered millions of women and
Who's
children.
getting something back? Okay, so a mistake was done. Who's being retributed?
Well,
What way?
well,
Money, land?
Well,
Time.
money, land, that's the top level stuff. But also, Iraq is Babylon, isn't it? So underneath all the life stuff, i.e., black gold, financial stuff, blah blah blah, bling bling bling. There's this whole religious, spiritual thing that's going on, man.
Over there, yeah.
It's well everywhere. Everywhere there's.
And we live in this society, and we're just going to keep on accepting that they do whatever they need to do to make the money they need to have.
That's right,
God
man.
knows for what or
That's
why.
right. Well, as long as
But it'll affect you and your children and me and my children.
Mads,
you know?
listen, brother. As long as I'm all right and little Joey goes to school and gets pre-programmed to go to war, then I'm going to be happy because I've done the right thing. This is the mentality, and people need to start waking up to what the reality is. You know, what's really going on out there, because truth is stranger than fiction, man.
Truth is stranger than fiction.
It is. It's so strange. And I remember when I started realising that everything is a complete and utter scam from start to finish, I was really depressed.
Yeah.
I thought, oh my
hits
God,
you.
it hits
because
you
no
hard.
matter how much they're telling you to buy and how much fear they're implanting into you, at the end of the day, you're going to wake up one day and notice that it was just all a lie.
It's just a lie.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, what's going on in Syria, we've got 20 seconds to go, but what's going on in Syria at the moment is just...
horrible.
It's incredible.
And we live in Spain. We go to the beach and we have calamares and we're sitting
right.
and listen, and on the other side of the world they're dying. And it's not far away, man.
I know, it's a funny old world, but here we are on the beat. It is arguably the best radio station on the coast, and I'm Herschel36. You know, go to my website, herschel36.co.uk. Let's have it.
Well, I don't agree at all. First off, how is it possible that anybody with any kind of sanity would consider the United States or Britain or the West in general to be in any kind of position to be punishing anyone for any illegalities? If we want to take a look at Iraq, there is at least 1 million, probably even close to 2 million dead. We invaded that country, destroyed it, created millions of orphans, millions of refugees, and never even so much as apologized for that. Let's go back to Vietnam, where we dropped 20 million bombs, more than all of World War II combined. We have destroyed so many countries. We have tortured and killed and maimed and raped around this planet. Who in the hell in their right mind would consider the United States or the West in general to be in any position to punish anybody? Never mind the obvious facts that this is a false flag attack and a long list of false flag attacks, which let's get into that, please.
More of your music plays next.
The Beat.
Herschel36 on the beat on a Wednesday night. Missed that link a little bit. Got a little bit carried away with myself again. No change there. But listen, we're coming to the end of this show, and I've got to say, Matt, you know, you are a born-again terrorist.
I am.
You're a really nice
We're
fella.
just waiting for the activation, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, you mean you're in a sleeping cell?
Yeah, just give me a reason.
You know,
I'm a terrorism for love and peace and understanding. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll terrorize everybody until they acknowledge the fact that we need to understand each other and we need to love each other.
Well, you know, I've got friends who work at the Tehran Stock Exchange. Okay, and I swear to you, they're the nicest people. And I'm meeting them in November, and at Mehdi and all his gang, and they're really nice people. They're bringing me over gifts and everything. They're just really nice people.
Overly pleasant, almost.
Yeah, just horribly nice.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
give me some Western selfishness.
Yeah.
But listen, I think I'm really lucky to be living on the south coast of Spain. I think I'm really lucky to be in Malaga Business Minds, and I think I'm really lucky to have met you, and I think we're going to do some great things in the next 2 years or so.
I really hope so. It began very good with a small radio session, yeah, very interesting. And stay tuned for the video, because we know we're going to make a video
We are.
soon, yeah. And you got great tunes. I look forward to hearing something more, yeah.
Yeah, my problem is that I don't have enough time in the day, and I do so many other things.
That's why we're gonna go with Nami, yeah.
Yeah.
That Nami is gonna take his wand and make sure that you get organized.
That's right, organisation.
Priorities in life.
Priorities,
Yeah.
that's it.
You gotta bless this world with your music, man.
That's right, man. See, we're going to get on, you and me. We're going to get on. Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. It's great. And there's so much to do on the south coast of Spain. We're lucky to be here. I run, I cycle, I swim.
We have an amazing place that we live in. This
That's
is like
right.
a small piece of heaven.
That's right.
And we got mountains, and you got snow, and you got Tarifa, and you got sand.
Do you ski?
I love to ski, yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm a massive snowboarder. I love
For those who didn't know, Tehran is like a very big... The capital of
Absolutely.
Iran is like a very big Aspen, digamos, for that part of the world when it comes to snow and
That's
stuff
right.
like that.
That's
We've
right.
been going with snowing like ever since I was 2 or 3 years old.
You know, I really want to do some business, if I can, in Iran. And I'm waiting to get into Iran. Because you got
Beautiful women, honestly.
yeah, man, the whole culture is amazing. but the business that I'm involved in London can't go in until the Western banks have opened up.
Yeah. well, that's about to open. That's
I know.
about to open.
It is. It is.
We're going
It
to see
is.
a new side of that side of the world, and see that the Islam, although it's not the most understanding religion nowadays, as you might think, it is honestly much more open than you think, especially from the Iranian side.
Let me add this, right? The beat understands you, and you are on the beat, and that's the important thing here. And here we are.
And I feel the beat.
That's right. We feel the beat, we create the groove, and we are resonating at a higher frequency than, say, those people who are concentrating on war and fear. So I think we need to focus on, love and sharing the experience with each other the best we can.
Yeah, and do what you do, just interconnect with everybody, like with a smile.
Yeah, let's try
Smile
and
goes
do
a
it.
long way.
It goes a long way. So if you were going to sum up your experience for the last few days of life, what would you say to me?
Last couple of days.
Yeah, man.
Honestly, every day is a new life. We live in such a beautiful place where every day is a new adventure. You meet new people, new countries. You learn new things.
Well, that's right. There's people from all around the world here, isn't there?
Exactly.
All over the place. It's a crazy little town, Fingro.
And everybody loves each other here because there's such a good energy and everybody's relatively happy. Considering there's a crisis here, we all live good.
There is a beautiful energy in Fengarola in the evening. So if people want to get in contact with you, are you allowed to give out your number?
Yeah, just Google Matthias Rad, R-A-D, or just go to scandispan.com.
Yeah.
SKANDISPAN.com. Scandispan.
So Matthias also rents out rooms, does all sorts of bits and pieces, but he is a creative genius. Anyway, people,
Takes one to know one.
It's been great having you on, Matthias, and we are on the beat. This is Herschel 36. Check it out.
Truth is stranger than fiction. When it gets too hot in your kitchen, truth is stranger than fiction. When it gets too hot in your kitchen.